This is Indie Business Podcast, Season 3, Episode 5, Makers on Main Street. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Indie Business Podcast. I am your host, mentor, and coach, Donna Maria, the founder and CEO at indiebusinessnetwork.com. My goal is to help makers and handmade entrepreneurs build a solid business foundation, increase your income, and use your business to create the life you love. On this episode, I will introduce you to Kismet Andrews of Maids in Brush Prairie, Washington. Kismet kept a full-time job for 5 years after she started her business, and the transition, she says, was absolutely frightening. But ultimately, she decided to quit her job in 2010 and hasn't looked back. Today, Kismet owns and manages a retail shop in her town, and as you'll hear, she's located in the perfect place for her target customers. Kismet also spends several months each year traveling to sell her products at shows, particularly in the fiber arts community. You'll love hearing a bit about how Kismet's business model works and how she uses active listening to build her business around what her customers tell her they want. You can get a summary for this episode at indiebusinessnetwork.com/29. I'll be right back with Kismet Andrews of Maids in Brush Prairie, Washington. Kismet Andrews at Maids in Washington State. Welcome to Indie Business Podcast.
Thank you, Don. I'm so thrilled to be here.
Now, Kismet, tell us where you're talking to us from. Are you in your studio? Are you someplace fun? Where are you?
I'm in my kitchen on top of the hill in Brush Prairie, Washington, having coffee.
Well, and that's probably fun too. And I should mention that it must be a lot of fun in your studio, judging from the products that you produce there. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm so excited to share you with our listeners. Tell us a little bit, Kismet, about how you started Maids.
My grandmother taught me to make skincare when I was a teen, and then I fully appreciated it when I worked for a medical center. And they asked me to decorate during the holidays, and I had to come up with some sort of a fundraiser for the holiday decorations. And instead of baking cookies, I started baking or making moisturizers. And at some point, I had to decide to either walk away from it or continue it, and I chose to continue, and here we are today.
And so you had a full-time job when you started doing this?
Oh, yes. I kept the full-time job for probably 4 or 5 years while I was also doing Maids.
And what was that like, Kismet? What was that transition like for you?
It was scary. The transition was absolutely frightening. Though in hindsight, it was the best thing that ever happened. I was working about 80 hours a week at the medical center, and my personal doctor told me, she gave me a choice. She says, do you want a heart attack or do you want a stroke? And I said, neither. And she actually wrote me a prescription for 3 months off. And I negotiated for a week. And after the first week, I thought, I kind of like this. So I quit my job and went 100% into Maids.
Wow. So after a week, you knew?
It took me, they wouldn't accept my resignation. So for about 3 months, I was working one day for the hospital from home and working on Maids full time. And then about 3 months later, I said, I'm done. I'm not coming in. I'm not giving you any work from home. This is it. You don't have a choice. And that was it.
And what year was that, Kismet?
About 5 years ago. So
about 2010?
2010, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that time frame. What was it? Was it your lifestyle? Was it that you just enjoyed not working 80 hours a week? What was it that made you sort of know after that short period of time that this is what you wanted to do?
I'm not ever really sure that this is what I decided I wanted to do, Donna. I was thinking about what I was going to do, and I still had Maids. Every time I thought I would walk away from Maids and I would close my website, etc., I always got all these orders. And so when the universe sends you messages like that, you listen. And I thought, on my deathbed, if I look back, am I going to regret the fact that I didn't take that chance and I didn't give it 100%? Or am I going to feel really comfortable with it? And I said, no, I'm going to regret the fact that I didn't give it 110%. And I don't want to live with regrets. And so I decided to dive in and give it my all.
Wow.
It deserved that.
Well, and 5 years later, here we are with such an amazing story to tell. And Kismet, from the very beginning, you seem to have structured your business model in a very intentional way. And I've always admired that because so many of us makers, and me as well, we just kind of, it's a hobby for a while, and then we sort of see people buying stuff. So we put up a website, and then we kind of go, okay, I'm in business now, and let me just kind of, do a little something and see what happens. Mm-hmm. You seem to be, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I think that is, such a wonderful way for anyone to get started. We all do a lot of building planes while we're flying them, but you seem to have approached it much more intentionally from the very beginning. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It's so funny when I hear you say that, because I actually feel like I didn't do it intentionally. But as I reflect, I see these pivotal moments of intention, and what it really involved was listening to my customers intently. It's active listening. And so I've really kind of built my business and what I do around what my customers say, ideas that they share, or little things that they say in passing. And I grab those, and that has really been probably the best form of intention I could ever have done. And it has led me to where I'm at today.
I love that you mentioned that too, because in today's technological filled environment with so many avenues for customers to communicate with us, we actually have this focus group kind of going on 24/7, right? Where they're talking to us, telling us what they like, what they don't like. Do you have this? Do you have that? And then we can kind of go, you're the 10th person that asked me that this month. Actually, yes, now I do have it. So you can just go and give it to them.
That's right.
Wow. And so you started your business mainly geared toward wholesale, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Actually, I started my business retail. When I worked for the medical center, I would set up a little booth and sell everything retail to patients and physicians and staff. And then I started, I had this website that would, go through these cycles of doing really well, and then it would be dry, and then it would do really well. And then I got a call from the Westin in Hawaii, and they wanted to carry my product wholesale. Had no idea what a line sheet was, and so I scrambled to do that. And Hawaii happens to be one of my my best account areas. I do a lot of business in Hawaii, and then it just sort of spread to the mainland, and we do have that component to our business as well, the wholesale as well as the retail.
It's so funny how things look from the outside looking in, and when I made that statement, it was definitely from someone who just kind of looked at your website and did a little research, and it just looked like it was geared more toward wholesale. And by the way, I have to say, do you get to go to Hawaii to service those accounts much?
I have to.
Of course
you
do. Oh, wow. What a great perk. I mean, another reason why I'm sure you're really happy that you made this decision all those years ago.
Amen, sister.
What fun. And so you traveled, your accounts traveled from Hawaii. Now you have them all over the U.S. and you have a certain target for your products, don't you? Tell us a little bit about that.
My niche marketing is for fiber artists, and I also sell a lot to plastic surgeons, which is interesting, and the bead and button industry. Though this year I'm focusing on spreading out and capturing some other niches, but the fiber world has been fantastic for me.
And I love how you've done that, and I can see it across all your social media. And tell us what your most popular products are to that niche market, Kismet.
The Lolo bars are by far the most popular, though the face pudding is coming up really, really close behind. They can apply to their skin. It doesn't impact their knitting or their yarn at all, and it absorbs into their skin very well, and therefore the yarn doesn't suck that moisture out.
And this is like a Lolo bar. It's like a sort of like a lotion bar with moisturizing oils.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So wonderful as a knitter. As a knitter, I so appreciate that too. Now, so you have been working your business, wholesale business model, retail business model, rolling along. And then I don't know where I learned this, somewhere in my travels last year. I saw that you were opening a store. And I got so excited because so many of our members and makers across the country are opening stores. Tell us, Kismet, how did this idea come to you, and what's the story leading up to your decision to open a store?
Kicking and screaming. I have never wanted to open up a store. I have come from, I'm a retail brat. I come from retail, and I never wanted to go down that path, but my customers are actually demanding it. So I've got this little teeny tiny store. I'm in the process of opening up a bigger store, and it's all because my customers are asking for it. And when they ask, I'm going to give it to them. So we're going from currently less than 100 square feet to about 600 square feet.
So tell us how this 100 square foot space came about. What are the steps that you took to open that space?
I moved out of my home into a commercial space, and the retail space that came with that was far too big. It was just enormous, and I found myself trying to fill it with other stuff, but customers only walked in there to buy my product. So I moved the studio to Brush Prairie downtown, and ended up with this little teeny tiny retail space. But then they can't find me on GPS, and people coming from the Portland metro area don't want to have to drive as far as Brush Prairie. Recently, I've turned down busloads of women on their way to Seattle in Canada because they couldn't fit into my store or my retail space now, and decided that with that, turning down customers coming, and then customers having a difficult time finding us, we're going downtown Main Street, Vancouver. So it's an interesting transition.
It is. So let me get this straight. You were working from your home, and then you moved to a manufacturing facility which had a large retail space. So you had that open for some period of time, but it was too big. So you moved to a smaller retail space which couldn't fit your customers, and now you're moving to something in between so you can not be too big but accommodate the busloads of people.
Absolutely.
And by the way,
take a long way around.
Well, and that's the story of all of our business lives. And I love the busloads of people idea. I mean, is this people going to a convention or a conference? How often does that happen?
It happens actually quite often for knitters and quilters. They'll do bus tours, and so a bunch of women will load on a bus, or guys will load on a bus, and they'll go from knit store to knit store, or quilt store to quilt store, and they go in and they do a shopping frenzy, and then they get on the bus and they go to the next one.
What an incredible, it reminds me of, like, you see when you go like to those cafeterias on the, you see them, it's like, buses accepted. So do you have a sign like that? Like, bring your buses here. We want your buses.
That's a great idea.
Well, you never know.
Accepted.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, it lets people know that your space is big enough for, I don't know, 100 people on a bus or whatever.
Exactly.
So you're moving into this larger space. So what are 3 or 4 things, Kismet, that you would tell people who are thinking about opening a store? What are your tips for them?
Oh my gosh, the tips. Numbers have to make sure your numbers are in line. So make sure that going in, you don't have to sweat about the rent. And then embrace the opportunity to just grow and open that up to the universe. Know that that's going to happen for you. And then pick up a hammer and do the hard work.
Yeah. Yeah. And so when you talk about numbers, you're talking about rent, you're talking about utilities, right? You're talking about gas. If you're moving out of your home, you're obviously going to have a gas expense there. And you might also have building permit inspection fees and things like that, a telephone, internet service. It's a long list, right? So all those things have to add into your costs, and then you have to be able to justify that by the sales that you expect to produce every month.
Absolutely. Plus staffing. And
Yes.
then look at the operation hours, which are going to be different.
Well, and that's an interesting question too. So is your new facility where the retail store is, will you have your manufacturing in the back of that?
Yes. That's the
Awesome.
beauty of it.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. And so
That
on,
helps to justify the expense of a retail space as well.
well, yes, because you can be right there where your customers are. They know that it's made there. They can even, know that you're there, even if you're not in the front retail area. I don't know. How are you going to organize that, by the way? Are you making in the back, in the front? You have staff? How's that work?
I'm super organized, Donna, and
You
so we're
are.
making
You are.
we're making everything in the back. I'm actually hiring somebody to run the front retail space. She's going to be there from Wednesday through Saturday, and then I'll staff it Monday and Tuesday. She's going to be responsible for buying other items that we may carry. I think we may be buying some items from local crafters that we can sell. And then I may be putting a scent bar in where people can come in and, make their own perfumes and so forth.
Oh my gosh, the buses will come from everywhere. And they'll have to like put that on the conference agenda. It's not like you run in and run out. You can stay and make your own scent. And I love that you mentioned that you're considering carrying products made by other local makers, because I just read an article on NPR News about the popularity of that and how people are sharing space and also sharing customers to make it more fun for everyone and more economical as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that I'm doing something that's what's happening in other parts of the world.
Well, and I mean, you're listening to your customers, so they must be saying the same thing everywhere else. And I'm so glad they are too, because it makes it more fun for consumers to have this abundance of choice of locally made products. It's just, I can't imagine that it's ever happened, since the Industrial Revolution, when everything was just so manufactured and people just want to be around the products that are produced locally, and they want to be around the people who made them.
One of the gals that I'm considering taking her stuff, she's a jewelry maker, and she is offered to come in and staff part-time and finish making her jewelry so that people can actually see that being made as well. So that's a really phenomenal draw, I think.
Wonderful. And what great videos that you'll be able to make of the making process and showing people, how your products are made, and they're safely made, and they're made right here, and they're fresh, and you can come in and buy something that's been made, hours ago.
Good ideas.
Yeah.
Good ideas.
Well, and you just mentioned how organized you are, and I just want to back that up 100%. Kismet was a speaker on Indie Cruise this year, and she shared with us just really in depth how she handles her trade shows, and I have never seen so much organization and efficiency. Like everything you do has like 20 different uses.
It does, absolutely.
It's amazing. So I learned so much, and that mindset, Kismet, is really, would you agree? It's something that just that mindset of understanding that your organization and how you organize everything and how you systematize things is in many ways at least as important as the quality of the product you make.
Absolutely. And it actually simplifies life, and it just simplifies everything on so many levels. And who doesn't want that?
Who doesn't want that? Absolutely. So now you travel a lot for your business. So as we already mentioned that you go to Hawaii once a year, but you also travel to trade shows, and you travel a lot. So when you organize your store, your staff is going to be there to run things for you while you're not there.
Absolutely. I'm on the road probably 2 to 3 weeks out of a month, and my staff are all cross-trained. And so any one of them can do any one of the functions, from making the product to selling out in the studio or the retail space. They're all cross-trained, and it's a fun place to work. And they actually ask for that. That way they don't get bored with just being stuck doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Now, Kismet, tell us about your storefront. Are you located on a main street around other stores? Tell us what it looks like.
Yeah, it's a short little block. There are three businesses on the block. I'm on one end, bordered by a main street, and I'm a secondary street over from the two main streets downtown. They next door to me is a spa, and next door to that is a gift store, a large gift store. I ended up in an area that is catering to estheticians and a lot of yoga classes and a lot of massage therapists. And so they're knowing that I'm moving there, they're already coming to me asking me to make product for them, and they want to source their essential oils from me. So little did I know that I was going to be walking into another whole business opportunity there.
This is wonderful.
Shops. Yeah.
I mean, Kismet, how organized are we? Just talked about her intentional organization skills. Now we'll talk about her unintentional organizational skills. So taking this leap of faith for you means not only that you calculated that you could meet your cost and make a profit without these customers, but now you're moving in and you have customers you didn't even expect coming to you.
Exactly.
Okay, is this an example of jump in the net will appear? Tell us how this feels.
I live my life like that, so it to me it's natural, Donna. I every time you put it out to the universe and you have really good intention, it comes back tenfold and in ways that you never even expected. And I think that this is just a really good example of that. I was just going to move into this little space, or this bigger space, I should say, make the connections with the community, and excited about that. There's another vibe being downtown, yet they're already coming to me. And it's just, it's about giving. And when you give, you end up getting back in ways that are completely unexpected.
And, in our economy and our society today, it is so much easier for us to see each other's talents and gifts than it's ever been before. And so that giving is, I wouldn't say it's always easy to do what you've done, but there certainly are signs that you can see along the way that give you encouragement, right? That we didn't have before.
Absolutely. It just is. It's like jet fuel. It just motivates you. Just keeps you going. Keeps you going.
Well, when I had my little retail store, I didn't have anybody to tell me, that I didn't have customers to talk to. I mean, I talked to them when they came in my store. And I even remember when a gentleman came in my store back in the day, and he was an internet person. I didn't even know what the internet was. And he said, you need to open a store on the internet. And I said, why do I need to do that? People will just come here. And he kind of rolled his eyes and went, and so what you've done, I know, sad, isn't it? What you've done is you've created a way to, as you mentioned, cross-train your business, right? You're going to have a retail store. Well, you have one, but you can have a bigger retail store. You'll maintain the online sales for retail customers and also have the wholesale. So you have at least 3 separate, robust income streams coming in here to serve your business.
Absolutely. I think, Donna, it's not about shutting doors. It's about just throwing them wide open, throwing open the windows and just going for whatever feels right. I'm not held back by fear. And I know that a lot of business owners are. And when you step into what you envision, the universe just provides. I've just found that that's the way it works.
I believe that that's true too. And when I say that to some people, they look at me like I have lost my mind. And what's funny though is as I have grown in business, I've said it more and more frequently and with more and more resolve, because it used to be when people would kind of look at me cross-eyed like that is just way out there, then I would kind of be quiet. Now I say, well, you know what, let me just tell you how I know. I know because, and I have some very tangible things over the years that I am able to point them to that it didn't have, 15 years ago when I first started. And you do as well.
Absolutely.
Now, Kismet, take us back. You mentioned earlier about hiring people and growing your business by getting help. So many of us need help, but we don't know how to get help. Where do I go for help? How much do I pay the help? What are some of the first steps that you took to bring people into your business to help you? Because at first you were doing everything by yourself, right?
Yes, I had to come to terms with the fact that I could not do it all by myself. It wasn't emotionally healthy to do that. It wasn't healthy for my business as well. And once I got over the fear of how I was going to pay somebody, just knowing that if I hire someone, I can split the work up. It'll actually increase the sales. Once I recognized that and I hired somebody, it actually panned out that way.
So when you hired your first person, Kismet, was it a full-time person? Was it someone that you were like, okay, I can afford 10 hours and I'm going to start you with that? How did you do that?
I hired one of my kids, actually was my first employee. And they came in and they were full-time.
That's handy. I love that.
I know, right?
Well, I mean, was this something that they wanted to do? Were they between jobs?
They were between jobs, and they also wanted to do it. And when my kids were younger, they actually helped me at events at the shows, and so they were familiar with what I was doing. But then when I started actually paying them, it was a whole nother ball game. They have since, one of my children still works for me. I have since hired others. And where I found most of my luck is hiring people that come from a service-oriented business. So like a lot of my employees have been baristas. Some of them have worked for tanning salons. And so those people are invaluable. The customer service skills that they have, I have found have been what my business is looking for, as opposed to somebody that perhaps just sat in an office and didn't really interact with the public.
Oh, that's a really good point. Finding people who, wherever they come from, have that experience dealing with people. And I love the barista idea, too, because they're used to making stuff.
Absolutely.
And customizing it, too, like making it in a particular way for a particular customer.
Yep, all required in this field. And they can not only make a product, but they can also talk to somebody on the phone at the same time or attend to somebody in the front of the shop. I do pay my employees more than minimum wage. I pay them a living wage, and then we also have extra benefits. I often take my employees on a cruise once a year.
What cruise would that be?
Let's see, the Indy Cruise. This year, because we met goals, we're actually going to go down to Northern California and pan for gold over a weekend.
Oh, what fun!
Yeah, all of us have always wanted to do that, and so we're going to do that as a team building.
Oh my goodness! Do you have any openings? Yeah. I bet there's people out there saying that. Where do I apply?
I get that all the time.
I bet you do. And that's so great. You know, the mindset that you have had from the very beginning has been very focused in terms of the product that you want to make too. You don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't seem to be one of the types of entrepreneurs that started off making a little bit of everything.
Right. I started off with one product and I'm actually adding to it as my customers ask me for. And believe me, the list is long, but and I can't make everything, and I don't want to make everything. I want to just sort of keep it more narrow.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
And that I would imagine, which I'm sure has helped you be efficient, because starting with one product allows you to bring in the cash flow that you need to expand if that's what you want to do.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and we even have several members who make one product and they maintain their full-time jobs, and they're making money on that end, and they're profitable on their maker business because they're not trying to make a bunch of stuff, and they don't have to have 50 gallons of everything in stock in order to make their products and serve their customers.
Exactly. It's very smart. At some point, their customers may say, gosh, I just love your X, Y, and Z. Would you make it A, B, C? And they'll add that to the mix, and it'll work or it won't. And so
So good for you to have all these efficiencies, the lean, mean, low machine. I like that. You've got it all coordinated so well. But the other thing too is that you're also, you're not, you're not stuck anywhere. You are fluid. Your business is fluid. You analyze things as you're going along. You expand when you need to, and you never are stagnant. I've noticed that as well.
You've nailed me. You know me too well.
So what is the most fun thing you're looking forward to with this new shop that you'll be opening, the newer, bigger space? What are you excited about?
I'm excited about the energy downtown. I'm excited about giving people a great smile when they walk in the door and sharing our product and finding out about who they are and what they do downtown and where they're on their way to. It's for me, it's really just about giving, handing them a cup of water that ice cold water on a hot day or a nice cup of tea on a cold one. So I'm thrilled about just interacting with people and then also delivering things that will surprise people. Whether it's a scent that brings back a memory that they had forgotten about or a piece of jewelry that touches them deep in their soul.
And Kismet, what is your philosophy of entrepreneurship? I'm hearing it coming through here, and I feel in my gut this is going to be a really good question to ask you. What is it?
Oh my gosh, I wish I could think about this one. Really, just work from your heart. Mm-hmm. It's just work from your heart and give, and it all comes back.
All comes back.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then it just spreads out. So it just keeps the flow going.
I like that. Wait. We're used to it all comes back, but you just said it also spreads out.
It does.
So it's not all about coming back to us and, making the money that we need to generate, continued business, which is obviously important, but you're saying it spreads out as well. So as you succeed, you're able to spread those tentacles of what you describe as the love that you have into your community. And I guess a retail store is going to, your larger one is going to bring that to a whole new level.
Absolutely. Yep.
Is this a good time to open a retail store? I know it's different in every community, but what's your general overall observation? Because I know you've done some research.
I haven't done research, which is
that's what I meant to say. I know you haven't done any research. Sorry. This is all your gut.
It is. I live by my gut. Your gut doesn't lie, and where your head can fool you, and my gut is just saying you've got to go for it, and my customers are demanding it, and so that's what I'm going to do, and I'm stepping into it fully, knowing that it's going to be successful, and I'm excited about it, and yeah.
Well, I'm excited too, and I've never thought I would think of a reason to visit Brush Prairie, Washington. Because until I met you, I had never heard of it. But now I have another reason to go there. Give us the address for your shop and, exactly what your hours are and everything so we can let people know where they can go to buy some of these products and meet you.
We're 1507 Broadway, downtown Vancouver. We're right off of the I-5 and Mill Plain exit. And our hours are Monday through Saturday, from 10 o'clock until 6 in the evening. And so we would love to have anybody, anywhere, stop by.
So excited.
Yeah.
So excited to share. And all you people out there going to conferences on buses up in that area.
They do it all over the United States. Yeah.
Well, and especially up there, make sure you know that there is now space for you to roam free. And there's a spa next door, too. So you might have to make it a day stop, I think.
That's right. Roll on in.
Wonderful. Well, Kismet Andrews of Maids, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to that store opening, the new one, and we're excited for that grand opening. So keep us posted so we can let everyone know.
Thank you so much, Donna Maria. It's been such a pleasure and a delight.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, I hope you enjoyed my interview with Kismet Andrews of Maids in Brush Prairie, Washington. And if you did, won't you send me some Twitter love? Just go to indiebusinessnetwork.com/love, and you can let your friends know that you enjoy the Indie Business Podcast. I really want to make it useful for you, and if I'm doing that, please take a moment to let me know by sharing. And if I can do anything to improve Indie Business Podcast, let me know that too. There's a contact link at our website at indiebusinessnetwork.com/contact, and you can send us a message there. I read every single one of them. I'll see you on the next episode of Indie Business Podcast. In the meantime, break all the rules, build your own corporate ladder, and create the life you love.